Welcome back to another reaction, this time for Misanthrope teaches a class of Demi-Humans? No clue. So let's see.
人間なんて嫌い
I always forget this. Yep.
だ。自分勝手で他人のことなどを構
Okay,
いなし。
fair enough.
善意は悪意に利用され、正直者がバカを見る。
先生先生
あ、おう。
So he hates humans,
ど
okay.
うしたの先生
So we teach Demi-Humans. Because they are not like humans, I guess?
ぼーっとした
ああ、いや、すまん。なんでもない。
きっと先生は初日ということもあってお疲れなのですわそうかなどうせどうでもいいこと考えてたんじゃないの宇佐美もそう思うのこの顔はろくでもない
Are you a rabbit? Yeah, you have like the rabbit little pin. For some reason, the first moment I was like arachnid, maybe? But no, rabbit. Makes sense.
顔はろくでもないこと考えてたの皆さん
What are you? Wolf? For some reason, because of the brown hair, I was thinking about horse, but I don't believe horse. Ears don't work.
先生にそん
Looks like mouse ears.
なこと言っては
まあ、当たらずとも遠からずというか、この仕事は人間嫌いの俺にとって天職なのかもしれん。
I should have looked it up. I guess Misanthrope is someone who hates humans?
なんかニヤニヤしてるのさては先生私たちが可愛いから見とれてたんでしょうまあでも気持ちはわかりますわ
How's a mermaid on land?
とばりさんの青い瞳も宇佐美さんの長いおみ
I'm guessing Tobari means bird? I mean, Usami is pretty on the
長
nose.
いお耳も伊崎さんのふわふわな尻尾も
Maybe it is a dog wolf.
素敵だと思いますわ
We have 4 people here.
もういいか
Really?
授業を続けるぞ。
はーい
では、人間の社会についてだ。将来人間になった時、困ることのないよう、しっかり勉強してくれ。そう。彼女たちは人間じゃない。けれど誰よりも人間に憧れていた。
She's a little bit like, I don't remember the name. But there was it is pretty infamous with the snack girl, or Lamia, and the centaur, that anime, which is more in the direction of edgy, but also where you have like demi-humans and they want to be in human society and there are rules around that and protections. Feels very much like that. It may be that he's in the demi-human world or country and teaching them. Okay, we have intro. Okay. Let's see. Okay. The opening showed a lot more girls, a lot more demi-humans, which I was hoping for. Because 4 characters are not really enough. You want more. Especially for school, having only 4 seats filled is a little bit weird, I feel like. It looks very weird, especially because you have this typical classroom, which normally houses like 20 plus students, and it looks empty. Now, we also saw what seems to be other teacher And they are, as far as I could tell, humans, which makes the whole point moot because I guess or assumed he would hate humans, but he has to work with them still. Other than that, we from the other girls we saw like a mouse, something like a dragon, I assume, something like a fairy. So there seems to be quite a bit of variety, which is good. I would have still loved all of them to be in the same class. They don't need to be the main focus, but that way we have the classroom doesn't look as empty. We have a better connection to the other girls that are not in the of the main four, and you could always concentrate an episode on each of the girls alone instead of having like 4 of them on the forefront. At least that is my opinion, because at the moment we have a bird, okay, we have the rabbit, understandable, I guess. We have I assume wolf, totally understandable. Everyone loves dogs, I hope. We don't have a cat girl as example, which is interesting. And we have a mermaid, which is the strangest part. Even in the other show I was referencing before, still don't know the name. The mermaid there's not really relevant because, I mean, it's a mermaid. She can't walk. So she always has to be in like a wheelchair, if I remember correctly. So we will see.
18キルいけるいけるいけるこれは自己新記録来るかあった夜中に大きい声出さんの近所迷惑って言ったでしょあとちょっとだったのに
Now this would not really make sense to me because they're in a house, the other house is like a couple meters away until you even meet the outside wall. However, Japanese houses, as I know or heard of, are pretty thin. So they are not as thick as they are in Europe, which means they let sound through a lot easier.
ゲームばっかりで再就職の話はどうなったの？
ああ、そのうち
って仕事を辞めて2年になるのよ。もう先生をやる気はないの？
Now the question is, why did he quit his job? I'm assuming we are going to get a little bit of backstory why he hates people so much. Most likely because he got betrayed, but...
なあ
お母さんもあんたが辛かったのは知ってるから。レイちゃんのこと心配してるってことだけは分かってね。
あれから2年か。さすがにもう教師はな。できるだけ人間と会わずに済む仕事がいいな。山の中ののどかな空間で癒されながらお仕事しませんか？これこれ探せばあるじゃないか。
Sounds like a
社
trap.
会保障完備、天然温泉あり、自然豊かなマイナスイオンあふれる
Sounds like a huge trap.
職場です。人間らしい方大歓迎。
We welcome candidates with human qualities. What do you mean?
大歓迎。生徒思いの
Next, you are also... You want people that have all their organs intact, I guess?
先生をお待ちしておりますって。私立白縫高校女子校の教員募集
You know, as a guy, my first instinct would be, oh, all girls school, probably good, probably decent idea. Now, not even going about, you know, teacher, students. I'm assuming he is like 22 or so, if I had to guess. But on a second thought, even only because, you know, I would assume it is far more pleasant to be around young girls and young men because of they try to take more care of themselves from my experience. Meanwhile, guys, they could run around in sweaty sports clothes and they don't really care much. And they are more rowdy. However, in an all-girls school, I feel like that would be... It would feel very weird to be there. Yeah, it would just... I mean, specifically, naturally for me, it would feel totally weird. But I feel like in his situation as well, it would feel weird.
教師かよ。俺にはもうあんなことは。人間らしい方大歓迎。生徒思いの先生をお待ちしております。マジで。
Don't you have Google Maps? Or Yahoo Maps? Or Japano Maps? I don't know. Couldn't you just check?
こんな何もない山。
I hope there is boarding as well. Where you can live. Or like a little, I don't know. Give me a room somewhere. I'm not driving onto the bus every morning to the school.
場所合ってるよな。確か地図には。あれこんなの入ってたっけ
Really? Congratulations. Oh. You can't see the real stuff without... Okay. So we have magic? Technology?
バス
You just put it on. Okay.
停の脇に道があって大きな桜の木があるはずなんだけど、そんな道どこにも。あった。桜も。こんなのさっきあったっけここが。
おはようございます。ひとま先生ですね。
See, I am assuming it's a guy.
はい、はじめまして。本日よりこちらでお世話になります。
The normal
ひとま
human, I
レ
mean.
イと申します。
ようこそ私立白縫高校へ。僕は星野悟。数学科担当です。ひとま先生は社会科担当だって？
はい。前の学校で4年ほど社会を教えてまして。
Oh, so he's a little bit older. Now these also got shown in the opening. First off, they have different amount in it. They have like balls in them. A lot of thoughts went through my head. First, because these are like little balls, I thought maybe eggs for some reason. But then I was like, why would they? They're not even all like bird creatures. So maybe these are some kind of point system. And if they get one of the bottles full with their name on, I'm assuming these are name tags, they can leave and be in the human world, maybe?
この瓶何ですか？
この学校の特徴かな。
特
Unique to your school. I feel like you have a lot of unique stuff in your school.
徴？
ここが職員室ね。
失礼します。
星野先生、その方がひとま先生ですか？
Again, looks like a human.
かわいい。
Could also be someone like Yuki Onna. You know, the ice woman.
はじめまして、理科を教えてる早乙女ゆきと言います。生徒からはゆきちゃん先生って呼ばれてますから、よかったらひとま先生もぜひそう呼んでくださいね。
ゆきちゃん。
For someone that hates humans, he seems very interested in this one.
やったー、取れましたよ、まつげ。
ありがとうございます。
ゆき先生、いきなり初対面からいかがなものかと思いますよ。
すみません、目についたものですから。
ごめんね、ひとま先生。校長が待ってるから、荷物を置いたら挨拶してきなね。
はい。ドキドキする。リモート面接でしか会ってないけど、礼儀正しく厳格。
That is not what he looks like in the opening.
で、これこそ指導者って立派な感じで。それがよくこんな俺を採用してくれたよな。俺にチャンスを与えてくれた校長の期待に応えないと。
どうぞ。
失礼します。面接ではお世話になりました。改めましてひとまレイと申します。よろしくお願いします。
よろしく。ようこそ私立白縫高校へ。
なんだあんた。
僕は校長の烏丸なのね。
そんなわけがあるか。俺が知ってる校長とは全然別人だ。
それは僕の仮の姿なのね。
は？
この学校に適性のある人間には僕の姿が渋くてダンディーなナイスミドルに見えるような
Okay, but why?
現実をかけていて、今その現実を解いたのね。
現実？
この学校にも認識阻害
Why though?
の現実がかけてあって、君がはめた指輪の宝玉にはその現実を無効化する力があるのね。
指輪をはめた途端に道が見えたのはそれで。
この学校は
I'm assuming that Demi-Humans are not widely known or something along those lines. I wonder the ring he has, if we were to go to the city, if we were to see a couple Demi-Humans every now and then, like one in maybe 1,000 people he meets in a day is a Demi-Human, but they are protected by illusion magic, and he would now, with the ring, be able to identify them. That would be pretty nice. And maybe a school like this is, again, with the whole bottles, allowing students, if they learn and they get enough credit in the bottles, they are then allowed to be in the human world permanently. I feel like that is where we are going.
変わった生徒が集まるからいろいろとカモフラージュが必要なのね。
変わった生徒？
一言で言うと人間じゃない生徒なの。
Why are all the teachers and the head mistress? No. Him. Why are they all human? Why is there no demi-human teacher?
ね、犬、猫。
Here we have mouse. Dogs, yes. Cats. don't believe we have seen one. Dragons, elves, and mermaids. Of these, we know 2. One was in the opening. I feel like she's a dragon.
ドラゴン、エルフ、人
There's her. Looks like a dragon. Is that... Wait, is that romance? Atomic out. I feel like the left one on the cover is a girl, but it could also be a boy. So it would be BL, which is not uncommon.
魚。ここはそういった人外の
I have no idea. Wait. You are a cat. The ear fluff doesn't work too well, I feel like. But you sleeping on a bench, very cat-like. But you have your eyes covered, which is not very cat-like. Unsure, but you're all black, which does fit a cat. Which brings me... Does Japan have orange cats? Orange cats are pretty infamous. But I feel like in Japan it's mostly black or white. I'm gonna put you into the potentially cat. Again, the ear fluff I feel like is not very cat-like.
子たちが人間になるために学ぶ
No idea. Probably the elf. Because we are like... That looks like an Oni with a horn. Probably a fox. I don't know, it's bottom right, maybe Tanuki. I don't know.
学校なのね。
人外が人間になるための学校。
我が校は生徒思いの先生を求めています。生徒たちにはそれぞれ人間になりたい理由があります。
Become human.
しかし簡単には人間になれない。だから彼女たちを導く教師の負担もおのずと普通の学校より大きくなってしまう。
I hope. So, he's like becoming human. Again, probably with the bodice stuff, credits. I hope they don't transform into humans. It's more that they have like a better illusion spell on them. Something that maybe transforms them for like 10 hours a day into human. I just hope they don't permanently turn into humans.
います。ひとまレイ君、それでもこの学校で教えてくれます。
So what happens if he says no? Is he going to get killed? Is he going to get his memories wiped? By the way, what about your little birdie here? What is he doing?
ですか
Also, you used illusion magic? How? Did someone use illusion magic on you? Are you able to use illusion magic? Are you not a human? Technically? I mean, in the grand scheme, does it matter? It's Demi-Humans? Not really, right? He's coming here, you did the whole interview, you came to the first day. It doesn't really matter what you need to teach as long as the teaching job is the same. Doesn't really matter too much, I feel like.
私立白縫高校。ここで学ぶのはまず一般教養。これは人間が学校で教わることと大体似ている。
What? One bag of candy costs a price. Brother's leftover change equals sister's leftover change times 2. I see. price of one candy bag is 200 yen or 200 whatever. I see. I see. Yep, okay.
次に人間性、人間度。人間らしい
Very cat-like.
感情や思想、振る舞いについてだ。人間らし
Okay. I feel like the ear fluff is not. I anime makes it look like it's somewhat big, very thick ear fluff, but maybe it's just a bunch of little hairs that protect the ear, and that is how they showcase it. Which is a little bit sad because I assumed this ear fluff would be very fluffy, but I guess not.
くない行いやルール違反をすると減点される。いわゆる
You learn to feel, think, and act like a human. Unhuman-like behavior and rule violation result in point deductions. I mean, scratching with her feet, okay.
ない行いやルール違反をすると減点される。
Laying on the bench should be fine. Now, this brings up a good question. Because we use animal-like behavior in Demi-Humans. This is a cat girl, but do cat girls use their feet to scratch themselves or not? Because this would insinuate they were cats who somehow grew into a human body, and not they were born this way. Because if you're born this way, you most likely are not going to use your feet to scratch your face. Because you have hands. The whole point why cats do this, or animals specifically, they can't reach their face with their front paws. You probably have seen it whenever a dog or a cat tries to do that. They can't reach with their claws, especially for cats, as example, their front claws are a lot more destructive. They don't really have the ability to scratch themselves that well. That is why they use their back legs. At least for dogs. For cats also, they like to groom. That is why whenever you want to pet a creature and they are open to be pet, slow approach, yada yada, you should learn how to approach an animal. They normally like it really to be scratched in areas they can't reach. And one of them is the face, especially the side of the face. All cats I know like that a lot. They're not always a fan of scratching the head, or the back of the head. But all of them, I feel like it on the side. They really like it. As far as I know, at least.
いわゆる内申書のようなものだ。最後に
But essentially, imagine where could an animal not reach to scratch? That is where they most likely enjoy being scratched. That is not a very important area. As example, bellies is a very dangerous area to let other stuff in because the belly is very easy to injure. It is the life-threatening area, so that is why bellies are always off top of. You are not really allowed to touch. But other than that, just imagine where they can't reach themselves.
社会性、社交性。これは他者との交流、協調性、思いやりなど人間関係について。評価は
How to communicate, cooperate, and show sympathy for others, the foundation of human relationships. Animals can communicate. Animals do cooperate. Now, sympathy. That may not be. However, we have, as humans, we do have observed animals showing something similar. Now, is it really sympathy? We can't really tell. But out of the cooperation of animals, sometimes they do stuff that would be seen as sympathetic to someone. I mean, just recently the news or stuff went around again where you had like crows, I believe. They got introduced to the whole idea of money and money being exchanged for food. And then they only gave one of the crows money to get food. And he then exchanged the money with the other crow so they can get food. There was something like that. Naturally, we also have seen that, I believe it was apes. They would exchange currency for favors, which is interesting that they do that.
など人間関係について評価は生徒たちが行う。
Evaluated by their peers. I assume these are
生
sisters.
徒たちが行う。正面玄関に生徒一人一人の瓶が置いてあり、
Okay.
随時生徒たちが投票することで
And other students can place votes.
評価ポイントが溜まっていく。クラスは下から初級、中級、上級とあり、
Oh, that is why we have different classes. Now, what are votes? What are these? How many votes do I have? Is the question. Do I have unlimited? Now, this also plays into the role because he's like humans betray each other, they lie. I'm assuming that Demi-Humans don't really know how to cheat. Because if I have unlimited votes, you have unlimited votes. We go together and we vote for one another. Unlimited amount of times. This also means that we have like at least 12 students, but I believe it was like 15 or so bottles.
クラスは下から初級、中級、上級とあり、学年末評
Also, I find it interesting that the other students vote for you, not like the teacher. Why do the other students vote for you? This doesn't make sense. So foundation, blah, yeah. Each student has their own bottle located at the entrance, and other students can place votes. So you teach all of these students how to behave like a human, and you have other students who are being taught at the same time how to behave a human, give you points if you behave more like a human in their mind. Even though they are learning how to behave like a human at the same time as you do. This doesn't really make sense. Right? It's like you have a whole class of students and they grade each other papers without knowing the answers. It's like, this answer looks plausible. Here you go, a point. Even though it is totally wrong. Doesn't make too much sense.
あり、学年末評価で基準に達した者だけが進級したり、卒業して人間になったりする。
Now, why are you at home? Why are you at home? How long is the bus ride to the academy. I hope it's under 30 minutes. Because if it's like an hour or more, I'm like, can I live here? I mean, an hour would still be fine, which is insane to say, I feel like. But 2 hours plus is like, oh,
学年末評価で基準に達した者だけが進級したり、卒業して人間になったりする。
I mean, the system is fine. I feel like the teacher should be the ones giving out points. Maybe.
さあ、これが俺のこの学校での初めての授業。
So this is the class we have, I guess. So the 4 we got are advanced.
何事も最初が肝心。指導者として厳しく、そして人として優しく、頼りになる大人の態度を示す威厳と寛容を持ち合わせた立派な最初の挨拶を。はあ、
やれんそらんそらんそらんそらんそらん、はいはい。
Now the interesting part is because the classes and where you are, in which of these you are put in, is connected to how well you do. Ages are not obvious because here clearly, okay, we have like, I don't know what kind of year, you never can tell, and one of them looks very much younger, and it, you know, it only matters how well they do in their studies. So you could move up really quick. You could turn, or you could transform into human when you are very young, or whenever you are a lot older, depending on how well you do. I also would question what really is the school or the country helping them in that transition, because you are now thrust into human society. No home, no parents to go back to potentially, no work. So how's that working? I assume we never get to find out.
ここ上級クラスの担任を務める一間玲だ。29歳男、人間。
29. Okay, you are far older than I assumed. I thought you were like 22 or so. Or that was at the beginning, then 24, because you are already 4 years teaching. 29, fuck me.
担当は社会科。好きな食べ物は寿司。趣味はゲーム。君たちが人間になれるよう指導していく。遠慮なく何でも相談してくれ。質問はあるか？はー
い。彼女いますか？
ど定番の質問で先生の心をえぐるのはやめなさい。いません。
生徒に手を出すフラグなの。
先生はロリコンじゃありません。
宇佐美さんには興味はなくて、水無月さんとかならあり得るってことでしょうか。
Are you Minazuki? I'm pretty sure you are.
先生を犯罪者予備軍にするな。ありえません。
イサキ、もしかして今宇佐美のことをディスったなの？違います。
It's also anime. She's probably the oldest one, even though she looks the youngest.
はい、そこまで。
Are we going to get ages though? Is a big question. Or are they going to be like, oh yeah, this dog person, she's only 4, but in dog years that is like 28. You know, kind of thing.
今度はみんなに自己紹介をお願いしよう。まずは羽田から。
はーい。羽田とバリ、種族はモズだよ。
Full-headed shrike.
趣味は音楽鑑賞。人間になりたい理由は音楽をしたいから。
Can't you make music now?
音楽をしたいか。
I Why are we hiding ages now? I would just like to know what type of age range we are working here with. I also want to know, is the bunny girl older or not? I feel like she is going to be made older
卓をしたい
than the rest. Have this gap going.
次宇佐美
宇佐美すいウサギなの。人間になりたい理由はお世話になった人間に恩返しがしたいからなの。
恩返しか
Fair enough. Which then the question is, are these demi-humans? Were they animals that transformed into demi-humans? What is going on here?
次は水無月
I just now saw his little pin, which is the controller, which I find, I like it. It's very corny, very, neat.
水無月
私の名前は水月京香ですわ。水月京香ですわ。種族は人魚ですの。人間になりたい理由はダンスがしたいからですわ。あいにくながら人魚の私はヒレしかありませんでしたが、この足を手に入れてからというもの。ひとまこの辺で止めないと京香は一生喋るの。毎日毎朝毎晩。
じゃあ水
So she has legs. In the opening, she had fins. So they partially transform into humans?
月続きは今度聞かせてくれ、
わかりましたわ。ご清聴くださりありがとうございます。
はあ、最後は大神
大神咲です。
Ogami.
種族は一応狼です。
What do you mean, kind of?
一応
たまに人間になってたっ
Are you a werewolf?
ていうか、私じゃない私になってしまうっていうか、
どういうことだ
私は人狼のようなもので、人間になりたい理由は人狼という中途半端な存在じゃなくなりたいからです。
So you are very shy and you have probably a very aggressive other half that is not aggressive in dangerous aggressive, but better said, assertive other half, I assume. Question is it linked to the moon? Is it linked to something else? What is the trigger for you switching?
人間になりたいってみんなたったそれだけの理由で
先生、もしかして私たちが人間じゃないからビビってる？
あ
私たちのこと見て気持ち悪いとか思っちゃったんじゃないの？
You look like 90% human. There's nothing that would be repulsive about these girls. Now, if it was similar to, I don't remember the name, last season, where we had like these animals, mostly animals, or animal human hybrids, those I could at least see that they are still like, especially because they, in that show, they have like instincts still running wild. Then I could understand. But in this case, it's like cosplayer have more animal features than you have.
気持ち悪いとは思っていない
I didn't really check. Do they have normal ears? We don't see. Smart. Hiding them. Also the shriek. Feels like you have fire. Looks like you have a little flame on your head. Only problem I would have in this class is I would want to touch their ears. I don't know why.
気持ち悪いとは思っていない
で、
確かに最初は驚いたよ。けど嬉しかったんだよな。
嬉しかった？
俺は今まで人ならざる者は架空の存在で実在しないと思ってたから、それが本当にいるって聞いて嬉しかったんだよ。
ゲームとかでファンタジーものとか好きだから？
それもある。でもそれ以上に俺は人間が嫌いなんだ。俺は人間が嫌いで、人間と関わるのはあんまり得意じゃない。だからここで人間じゃない生徒を教える方が向いてるんじゃないかと思ったんだ。
I'm assuming there was something happening in his last class. It also seems like he was not really minding the other teacher, who seemed like humans. But he may have not liked human children to teach. Now the question is, why are you even taking this job then? There was no chance for him to assume there would not be humans here. He just got lucky. I guess he was like, hey, I need a job, I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to hold out as long as I can. I guess.
先生はどうして人間が嫌いなの？
それはまあいろいろあって。
いろいろって？
それはいろいろ。
興味あるな。私聞きたい。私も聞きたいですわ。人間になる上でぜひとも知りたいですわ。私も。
そう言われても。
ここまで話しておいて言わないとかありえないの。
ああ。
先生、聞かせて。
人間は
Pretty unfair, but sure.
人間なんて自分勝手で、他人のことなどお構いなしで、善意は悪意に利用され、正直者がバカを見る。誰かのために頑張ってもちょっと気に入らないというだけで容赦なく踏みにじられて。だからそんな人間のところに自ら飛び込もうという君たちのことが俺には。
それでも憧れたから。憧れたんだよ、人間に。その通りですわ。私たち人外にはない人間ならではの文化、生き方、思い、そのそれぞれに感動し打たれ。ああ、もううるさい。教科は黙るの。とにかく人間にならないとできないことがいっぱいあるの。そうですね。それに人外の世界だっていいことばかりじゃないですし。だから私は人間のことそんなに悪くないと思うんだけどな。先生は？
人間は嫌いだ。だけど何やってんだよ俺。信用を失ったよな。最初が肝心だって言ったくせに。
I mean, it seemed fine.
じゃあここまで。
さ
I do wonder if he's going to teach the other classes as well, or only the advanced one.
あ、お弁当だ。今日は何かな。
Oh, dorm mother. So there's a dorm here, which I feel like he should live as well in. Not necessarily their dorm, but like a teacher kind of dorm. Save some time going back and forth. Also, do they have the same meal? Did everyone get something different?
おばさんのお手製は美味しくていつも楽しみですわ。
そういえば寮ってどんな感じなんだ？
質問が曖昧すぎるの。聞きたいことがわからないの。
ああ、すまん。寮ではみんなうまくやってんのかなーって。
プライベートに踏み込んでくるななの。
やっぱ信用を失ってる。
あら、先生、本日は教室で注
He is it feels like she has a protective layer around her. She's very spiky. But I feel like whenever you break through, she's going to be glued to you. I also we have like a bird character, we have a mermaid. Those two probably don't really have like a personality. But rabbits and dogs you could attach a personality to. Dogs, very loyal, very trying to be at your side at all times. Always up for whatever you want to do. And the bunny could be very social creature. Bunnies supposedly it's not healthy for them to be alone. Do they have these personalities? As example, the cat girl, she was sleeping on the bench, wherever. So do we get a similar point for all these girls, like a personality trait that we attribute to the animal being translated into the demi-human?
は教室で昼食をお召し上がりになりますの？
あ
でしたらせっかくなので私と昼食にいたしませんか？
ありがとうな、みなつき。そうだな。
Oh, she's Minazuki.
そうだな。いい機会だし、今日はこっちで飯を食おうかな。
そうか、一間に取れる気なの。ずるいの。
Not fair, huh?
では宇佐美さんもご一緒されますか？するの。なになに、先生の取り合い？
Again, she was very prickly, but seemingly that's just a front.
そうなの、取り合いなの。
今の取り合いなの？生徒とはいえ女の子に取り合いされるなんて。
I mean, you don't have girls fighting over you. You have students fighting over you. Different connotation. Similar effect. Is there maybe... If you get close to a human, are the other ones like, oh, you are close to a human, so you are more human, so you get points? Is that the idea? Is this more like for the goal of becoming a human?
トーマ。にやけが起きそうの。勘違いすんななの。一間じゃなくて点数の取り合いなの。
勘違いしてねえし。
でしたら今日はクラスの全員でお昼に。
But the other students give you points, right? Not the teacher? It would make sense that the teacher should, or yeah, they should be able to give points instead of the students. Maybe the students can as well, but I feel like the teacher should give a lot of points or be able to.
するというのはいかがでしょう。私もいいよ。伊崎さんもいかがですか？よろしければぜひ。
なんかそこまで信用なくしてはないみたいだな。よかった。
Don't be naked.
どうした？大丈夫か？
うるせえの。お前の方が大丈夫じゃないの。
あ、ごめん。
Probably some kind of food she doesn't like.
みなずき、何かあったのか？
お弁当に間違いがあったみたいで。京香はかまぼこがダメなんだよ。
かまぼこ？
私は人魚族なので海の幸が。
I mean, it makes sense. Totally. She's not fond of seafood. And she should also not be served seafood, I feel like. I have a hard time identifying what is the seafood. I mean, we have some omelets, we have potato, cucumber, we have some roll thingies. The pink one and the brown ones, and I assume one of them is maybe fish. And we have a bunch of rice. Now, the thing that caught my eye, which makes 0 sense, is a divider. There's a divider with like some kind of hook or whatever, which I was like, why is that? It makes sense. You probably can just pull it out, the divider, so you can clean it really easily and put it back in. Never thought about it, but it just makes sense.
魚族なので海の幸が
So this is where we exchange. Now the question is, how do you not like the part of the seafood? Do you not like all the food that is touching your seafood, like an allergy? Or would it just be fine if someone else removes the seafood part?
あまり得意ではありませんの。
Also, yeah, she did say it was a mix-up because the dormother would normally not serve her seafood. She probably knows what people like and not like.
ですが焼き魚とお刺身まではギリギリ見られるようになりましたのよ。ただどうしてもかまぼこだけは
Oh, it's a pink one, okay.
残虐に思えて苦手ですの。
ああ、かまぼこは魚をすりつぶして作るからな。
脅かすななの。
ああ、ごめん。
どうしましょう。せっかく作っていただいたのに残してしまうのは申し訳ないですわ。
そうか。それじゃあ俺と交換。
私とおかず交換しませんか。よろしい。私とおかず交換しませんか。よろしいのですか、伊崎さん。じゃあ私がもらいますね。
手をくれた。
Also, it should not be, oh, I spoke up too late. It should be, okay. Because you are supposed to teach them sympathy, cooperation, and stuff. And this is a good showcase where you see them practicing it. So it is, I feel like, even better that you don't need to interfere.
ありがとうございます、伊崎さん。伊崎さんは私のヒーローですわ。いただいた代わりに私の卵焼きを差し上げます。はい、
I mean, she already had two of those, but fair enough. Better than eating fish, I guess.
あんたとあんて実在するのか。あれか、女子高生の世界では普通なのか。
先生、見すぎじゃねえ。きしょいの。
どうしたみなずき。
ちくわが。私、ちくわもダメです
そっか。ちくわも魚をすりつぶして作るからな。
の。ひとま最低なの。
ごめん、すぐに食べるから。
I mean, he didn't know at this point, even though he should have assumed. But yeah, you just get rid of it.
大丈夫ですか、先
お茶。
生。確か人間は箸を置いた向こう側から飲めば治るんだっけ。それはしゃっくりなの。お茶は柱に立って飲むと良くなると聞きましたけど。それは茶柱なの。うさみよく知ってるね。
いいからくれ。
あ、
First off, how do you, I mean, sure, sometimes you can get food stuck in the wrong pipe. It is very rare. It is so rare, at least for me. I don't know if there are some conditions where it happens more often. Second, sure, you need to drink something to get it down, and they just take it away to talk about other stuff. They probably had this happen as well at some point, and no one really reacted. A little bit weird, made for a comedic effect, but still a little bit weird.
死ぬかと思った。
ありがとうございます、先生。命がけで私を守ってくださったのですね。先生、やるじゃん。素敵です。
いや、そこまでのことじゃ。
調子に乗るななの。
は はい。
皆さんも本当にありがとうござい
人外だけの学校、
ます。
生徒思いの先生を求めていますか。ここでなら俺もやっていけるかな。
Okay, we have the ending. I mean, this is the first episode. I do have some questions around this whole system, which I feel like are never going to be answered, because that is not what this kind of story is. It would be nice, making the world a little bit more coherent. There are some parts that are a little bit weird. He's totally fine with teachers being human. Maybe we find out that something happened with his students, and that is why he is not really hating humans. It's more that he doesn't really like young humans, which is understandable. We have the whole system that the students in the school, the demi-human students that are learning how to behave like a human, are grading other people that learn how to behave like a human, which is still weird to me. Other than that, it seems fine so far. I hope we get introduced to some more characters. I probably would have preferred more that we get like a little bit of screen time for every kind of character, and then we are more like a 4-coma, where we have a bunch of little stories around some of these characters. But we will see. Maybe that is how next episode is going to go.